Hey guys, it's Jillian and Tori here. We're so excited today to be telling you the story of our cookbook and the whole process of it, how it started, a few behind the scenes. It's coming out soon. Buy the book, right?
Buy the book.
Buy the book? Okay, let's get into it.
All right, so taking it right back to the beginning, the whole project started with a phone call 3 years ago.
I'm really interested in making an offer for you and Tori.
Apparently you and I just got an offer for our own cookbook.
What? No way. This is
I
like
know.
a massive bucket list item for me.
I know.
So they knew that I contributed to Jillian's blog, but they didn't actually know that we were related.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they're like, oh, it'd be cool if like Tori and Jillian did a cookbook together, but they didn't know that we were related. So when they found out that we were basically sisters, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Got a little something right there.
Oh, sure. Now you have to eat it. This is, wow, we reached a new low.
That is love, ladies and gentlemen.
In that moment, it was like the craziest moment of my life because I was filming Love or List It, driving back and forth to Vancouver, about to have a baby or just had a baby, filming that Jillian and Justin show, blogging, building a new house, all those things. So in my mind at that moment, I was like, okay, this is such a cool opportunity, but there's no way I can do this right now. And then finally, I don't know if it was a conversation you and I had, but I'm like, I can't let this opportunity up. Like, this is my one opportunity in life to be an author, to publish a cookbook, to do it with my cousin, my sister, my best friend. I was like, okay, buckle up, let's do it. And there was another element that we didn't talk about, is our husbands.
This is my husband and my 3 boys.
I don't think you're allowed to be in this video.
I think Charles can. Basically 90% of what Charles says cannot be in.
Wait, our vlog has to be interesting and funny. You gotta get people to watch it. We don't have 2 views, we don't have 2 million views. Watch Charles be his
Then
mate.
show us your boobs or something.
Watch Charles. Because about 10 years ago,
Yeah. No, not even. It was when Charlie was 1. Not
Was
even
1.
1. So he was just born. So he's
7 years ago, Tori and I had this brilliant idea to start an online business selling antiques. We basically partnered with antique stores, found the best stuff, posted it on our site. If people bought it, they shipped it direct from their store, we got a commission. Problem is, you sell a $25 teacup and you take your 10%, that's $2.50. You need to sell a lot of antique teacups to make that business model successful.
Yeah.
And in the end, we decided to fold it. And that was devastating, not only for us and our self-esteem, but also our bank accounts. And we had worked, basically abandoned our families and our husbands for 2 years trying to make this business work, and it never worked.
But that being said, we knew that there was a start and an end date to this. It
Yeah.
wasn't like a project that would go on to
Right.
infinity. So I think that was the reason why we decided to go ahead with it.
Totally, yeah. Whenever I started to panic about the cookbook, Tori would always remind me, there's gonna be an end.
Where are we at now?
We're at the end, the E-N-D. So we've got one more shot and then we're done. I can't believe
We haven't done the Wellington.
Can't reach it.
Can you?
You just always think, how hard can a cookbook be? You make food and you take pictures of it and you write down the recipe, and Bob's your uncle. Bob is my uncle, it's her dad. Mindy, you have to show Mindy, Glenn. Mindy is staring over here. She's like, it was a lot of work.
Yeah, it was.
Right?
It was terrifying.
Just pour it on top. Pour that on top of there. It'll be okay.
Watch, it
will
won't
not
be
be
okay.
It will be.
It won't be okay because I did it.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
Walking in here, Mindy was like, oh God, another cookbook photo shoot.
Yeah, it was chaos.
Yeah.
What was your role supposed to be and what was my role supposed to be?
Okay, so my role was supposed to be doing basically all of the legwork. So all of the recipe development, all of the recipe testing, all of the content creation from the perspective of the writing part, except for like your little preamble.
Yeah.
And then more of your work was supposed to come in the promotion side, like
Right.
basically now.
Okay, let's ice this.
I'm part of this? You want to be part of this?
No, I want to watch.
Okay. I think a lot of the book is really about us and our family, and so
Then we had to invite our family over for the cookbook shoots.
like Christmas in July. Christmas in July?
Yeah.
When we wrapped up Christmas presents.
Tori had to set up her Christmas tree in July and bring the kids over, and we had basically, after shooting all this food and like being greasy and sweaty and stinking like food, take pictures of our kids under the tree and getting them and Nacho and everybody to sit, and then our husbands. And but didn't we shoot Christmas and Father's Day the same day?
I think we did, yeah, and the kids opening up presents that were not presents, so they were like really happy about the whole situation. Empty boxes. Look, honey, it's Christmas morning. Nothing.
Hey, excellent.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, Tori, but I think the biggest challenge on those shoot days was staying organized. How do you feel?
I feel good, actually. I feel good. Even though you hated me for not setting you up properly with the burrito.
Yeah, you fucking set me up to fail.
I was trying, but you just pulled it off. Yeah.
Everybody's making a different recipe, but then you'd forget which recipe you were making, and you thought somebody was taking care of something, but then they weren't, and then something would get burnt. And you need all that manpower to help chop and help clean and help organize.
We were picking peas out one by one. They're really, really hot out of a bowl. Living the dream here.
What are you making?
Pardon?
What are you making?
Beefless stew. It's just simmering away right now. It smells really
We're
good.
gonna call it veggie bourguignon.
Yeah.
Veggie bourguignon.
Because we're fancy like that.
We would laugh a lot. We would have a lot of fun. We would start pouring the rosé after a couple hours. Sometimes we get a little tipsy when recipes turned out great, or like when we take a good shot of something. We're like, oh, that's awesome, and everybody would rejoice, and everybody would be so excited. Mama! How? Oh my God. I just can't. I can't. I'm done.
There's a lemon cake in there. It's a lemon olive oil cake, and I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. We made it at least 30 times, and that is a low ball estimate, just to get it right.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, that's too dense. Oh, that's too dry. Now that's too lemony. Now it's not lemony enough, and we're like, oh my gosh, like we should have bought a lemon farm because of that. I cannot believe the number of lemons that I went through. We have baked this citrus olive oil cake 20, 30 times. I don't know, I've lost track. We baked it again today after the one we baked yesterday didn't turn out.
Or not, but there was another element to this cookbook that was a huge challenge. So a lot of people think that I'm vegan. I'm not vegan. I'm still struggling. I'm like torturing myself on the inside trying to figure out what I am. I really do believe in my heart that we as a society need to drastically reduce the amount of animal products that we're eating. Not only from an environmental standpoint, but from a humanity standpoint as well.
What I'm doing right now is I am squeezing and getting all the moisture out of my firm tofu because we're going to be marinating it, and tomorrow it will become tofu feta.
Wow.
Bow, chicka, bow, bow.
What are you doing? Pounding your meat?
I was, and now I salted it and I'm drinking wine.
Oh, wow. Tori, and I'm not saying my way is better than anybody else's. She's like that true French European cook. She still loves, she can cook with all the different things, but if you had it your way, you would sometimes prefer to cook with cream or real butter or ricotta and real Parmesan. And I basically challenged her. She's like, okay, I can cook with cashew cream, but is it gonna be as good?
Well, and I think that the difference is that when we first started the cookbook, that wasn't the direction that we were. So it wasn't.
I think it was in the back of my mind, but I was so busy, I don't think I ever communicated that properly.
No, like when you really sat down to take a look at things and like were honest with yourself, I suppose, then you weren't cool with it, but it was really late in the process, and that was stressful.
Sorry.
It's okay, I love you. It's okay. But I love how it turned out. And to be honest, like the way that it turned out and the way that we cook in the cookbook is very in line with how I cook. I do eat more animal products than you do, but myself personally, marginally. I think that we have a society where we think that it's all or nothing. It's like a lot of all or nothing thinking when it comes to food.
And black and white.
100%. So if you're not vegan, bust. Like you might as well just keep on eating KFC. I think like what we would love, I think, to put out to the world is that any change, if you're wanting to go and able to go all vegan, fabulous, amazing. But if just making some changes is what you feel comfortable with at that time, then that's okay too, but just to lean into it. So I really feel that this cookbook gives people the opportunity to take what could be like a really old-fashioned dish that they've grown up with, especially people who have like a Ukrainian background like us.
Who eats this bacon and cream their whole life.
That's right, exactly. And to be able to say, like, I can still have these old-fashioned beet rolls or pierogies that you are not gonna miss an ounce of flavor, but they're vegan.
And it was really fun because there were some times where Tori would call me and be like, guess what? I just revamped this recipe and I made it vegan and I actually like it better.
I'd say most of the recipes that we've made, that we've grown up with, because as a dietitian, like the really big heavy things, I remember watching Grandma make, it was cabbage rolls. I was young. I remember watching her make cabbage rolls. It was back in the 90s when everyone was fat phobic too.
Yeah.
And she sat bellies on up to her cabbage rolls, and then she takes the big jug of whipping cream and she starts pouring and pouring. And I'm just like, my jaw is dropping. I'm like, oh my God, no wonder they taste good.
Yeah.
I was like, but I was mortified at like how rich these dishes are. So it also accomplishes that. They're healthier.
Yeah, totally.
Please tell me that's not the leftover glue line.
It's a leftover glue line.
Sounded.
I think that's what I'm most excited about, is to start to see these recipes appear on our tagged images in our feeds of people making these recipes and even putting their own twist on it and giving us feedback on these recipes, and these recipes becoming a part of your life and your traditions and your family. I think that's what's starting to make me cry, is that like our stuffing recipe could possibly be your favorite family recipe for the rest of your life. And how cool would that be?
Okay, so you're heating up the chili. Chili needs to go to the cornbread.
Fucking feet hurt.
Oh, here,
Like
do
I'm-
I know, my back's starting to hurt too.
No, I'm not 85.
I think these are awesome.
These look like retirement, like people
I
who are in
know.
their 80s wear them in Palm Springs
I know,
in their
I know.
retirement.
Bria has basically been doing dishes for 65 hours. Kitchen is a disaster, and I better get off my phone because I have to leave, and before I leave, we have to shoot some shit. But anyways, you guys, we shot all of this today. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be good.
All right, so it has been an absolutely wild ride, but I wouldn't change a thing. I feel so grateful for this experience, and I'm so excited for this cookbook.
So excited.
Here it is.
Isn't it gorgeous? I love it.
Me too. I'm so I know. The back's even cute. Let's see. There we go.
And I love how the cookbook, it matches our house.
It actually does the whole kit and caboodle.
When you design a cookbook cover, you have to make sure it goes with your decor.
Yeah, exactly. You want to keep it out, right?
Yeah.
So it's available for pre-sale now on Jillian's site, my site, and of course at any of the major retailers. But if you're wondering which those retailers are, head over to our sites. They're all listed there. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world to Jillian and I. And I am just so grateful that I had the opportunity to do this with you.
Hardest, but most gratifying project I've ever done in my life.
Agreed.
And I got to do it with you.
Yes. Mwah.
We did it! Well, it's not completely done. You still freaking done. Just kidding.
I'd say you girls are pretty amazing.
What, 115, 120 recipes?
Yeah.
Shot, developed, tasted, tested,
Sworn at.
Incredible.
a couple necks strangled.
The burritos.
You
I
girls
didn't
are
understand what you wanted to do
girls
with the
are the bomb.
burritos. I tried figuring, did you get it in the shot?
No. We threw them out.